Nunez's family struggled for money to feed him as a child, now he's £85 million star. While Darwin Nunez is on the brink of becoming Liverpool's transfer record signing, his childhood wasn't always sweet as his family struggled for money to feed him. The Reds have agreed to the £85 million signing for the Benfica striker, which involves an initial £64 million with add-ons. The Uruguayan will surpass Virgil van Dijk's record transfer of £75 million, who signed from Southampton in 2018. Nunez, who signed for Benfica from Almeria in 2020, impressed during his short spell at the Lisbon side. After cementing a place in the team last season, he went on to become the top goal scorer, scoring 34 goals in 41 appearances across all competitions. Despite his success in Europe, however, it wasn't always plain sailing for him and his family, who struggled to make ends meet when he was young. But the 22-year-old has remained humble about his roots. "Yes, I went to bed lonely on an empty stomach," Nunez said in an interview via Marca. "But the one who went to bed with an empty stomach the most was my mother. She made sure my brother and I ate first. My mum used to go to bed without joining us to eat. I will never forget where I come from." Nunez then fought for his future and his family's when he was approached by one of Uruguay's top clubs, Penarol, in 2013. But he suffered a setback at 14 after the club didn't sign him, and he returned home to live with his parents. Have your say. How do you see Darwin Nunez faring at Liverpool? Have your say in the comments section below. At 16, he tore his cruciate ligaments and was out of action for a year and a half before his Penarol coach Leo Ramos handed him his first team debut. Despite not having much success back at home following his injury, he managed to break through in Europe at Almeria. That was when he went from nothing to making a name for himself, establishing himself as one of the finest strikers in Europe, and is now expected to earn around £120,000 a week at Liverpool. "But still, I don't forget where I come from, a humble, hard-working family," Nunez said. "My father worked 8 or 9 hours in construction to buy us what we needed and to eat. My mother was always a housewife and would go out on the streets to collect bottles to sell." Benfica boss Nelson Verissimo hailed the youngster's development during his brief spell at the club. "His growth this season is rising interest from several clubs. We have to accept it. It's the law of the market. Players like Darwin are to keep, but we are in a competitive market where clubs need the money for their daily management." Last season he became the youngster player to score in a Champions League game at just 22 years and 264 days old.